Started. All right. Now we're good. We're here. We're all here. You're here. We're here. It started. Here we go. Wookie's here. Uh-oh. That's not good.
That's not the show. Is it?
Yeah, that's the show.
Oh, that's the chick that becomes, what's it called?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she got what she got written across her locker.
Could be. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, she sent it to the jerk. Place 3 months ago. What's that girl been in? That girl looks familiar. Oh no.
She's the locker.
Yeah, tell me about it.
The hoodie moon.
Welcome to another episode of Stargirl. Here we go.
I just said the Brainwave's son was the jerk in the beginning.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, I forgot you gave all that stuff.
Yeah.
Our man. Laser pen.
So going by the pictures, is like the entire new Justice Society going to be nothing but like young teenage girls? Because just even judging by... Yeah, that'll come into play later. Do you know what I mean? Like, because even judging by the picture that I used for the thumbnail, it's like all teenage girls.
Pop-Tarts?
Eggs won't kill you, pal. The sugar might.
Whoever died from too much sugar, huh?
You're joking, right?
No, why?
Good morning.
Hey, Barb.
Yo, Barbara, we got any Pop-Tarts?
That kid has got to be like set straight.
No.
Can't have my girl
Drop
going
an ice
hungry.
cream bar.
Thank you, baby. On the front of the children.
Please.
Isaac said not all of them will be girls. Our man, Dr. Bennett, will be guys.
Chicken. Why?
I wanted to bring my
You
wife
saying
to
our man
Chicago
didn't look
hamburgers,
too,
but,
Well, you're welcome to bring a friend, but the chicken's already defrosted. Can't want them all, buddy.
Court, why don't you invite a friend to dinner too?
Courtney doesn't have any friends.
That's not true. I have tons of friends. Thank you very much. All right.
I do not like that kid.
Are
He
you
reminds
okay?
me of the bad guy in
You'll
Terminator.
make friends. Don't
Punch him
worry.
in the throat.
Yeah, I know.
Still
Love
looking
you.
at him.
Love you too. Bye, guys.
Bye, Barb.
Later, Barb.
Corey, you didn't touch your breakfast.
Call you to school.
Corey?
Hey. I know what it's like to lose a friend.
Joey wasn't my friend, Pat. He never got the chance to be. We should be out there recruiting new JSA members. Like now.
We can't drag anyone else into this.
You said it would take more than us to stop the Injustice Society.
I said that we couldn't stop them.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not. And
No, that's not what I said.
if there are other villains in Blue Valley, I need to know who they are. And I need to find them without them finding us.
And how are you going to do that?
I don't know yet, all right? But when I do, I'll alert the authorities.
What if they are the authorities?
Ooh. She's got a point.
Oh, she had to be in boxing. Good for her.
What did she just say?
Nothing.
Henry.
Look, I gotta go.
Henry. Oh, no, he didn't.
You started dating that one?
That hoo-ha.
Did you just say my boyfriend, huh? Something dirty, I bet? Listen, he's seen enough of you. Got it? Everyone has. So stay away from him.
I've seen
Stop
enough of
it.
that outfit.
What's your problem? You have no idea who you're messing with.
Neither do you.
You will never see me coming.
You will what?
You'll never see me coming. I got an answer for that.
Wait, what are you
I don't know.
doing? I'm just trying to help you. You can help me by leaving me alone. That's all I want from everyone.
She's making it close to what she is.
You got some trouble?
I woke up in that house all alone, and it was just so empty and so quiet, and I just had to get out of there. So I just went for a drive, and I don't know, it stopped.
Let me take a look.
Okay, thank you.
These cars this old, they just need a little love and affection.
Isn't she the one who was supposed to?
Denise, I wanted to tell you how sorry I am about your son and husband.
I'm sorry, I should take a walk.
Well, shouldn't take me too long to get it up and running. Sure, have a good walk.
That was over.
Not awkward at all. Not one bit.
That's real. In the beginning, I didn't understand why you brought them together. But now I've seen the light. I believe in the injustice society of America. More than any of the others. And
very comic book accurate.
Back with the others. I hear you've kept busy. I've been working on my daughter. Yes.
The eyes.
You see how he blinked?
Said I've been working on my
I'm
daughter.
accelerating Project New America.
How much you want to bet his daughter's the
Tell me what you need to complete your machine, and I'll provide it. Finally, you want me to build it? I do. But quickly. Yes, of course.
Conniving snake.
I know how much this means to you. To me too. One generation's ultimate sacrifice will protect the next. I went for you, like the wizard. He was particularly vile to me when I first came to Blue Valley. I'm glad he's dead.
Look at his eyes.
May I have his
See how
body?
he's blinking sideways?
Yes. Wonderful.
You're a boxer? No. So she's like, I got just the spot for you.
You've got to stop following me around. I can't. I said it wrong. It's not you who needs my help. It's me who needs your help.
What?
There's something going on here.
Yeah. I have a lunatic following me around.
No, here, in Blue Valley. I need you to help me fight it.
Listen, Blondie. I don't want anything to do with you. With anyone in the school, and there's nothing you can say to change that.
Just come over tonight. Stay for dinner even. I'll explain everything, and if you're still not sold, I promise I'll never bother you again. Here, text me your number.
My mom took my phone.
Wait. Here, just come, please. 6:30.
I'm not promising anything.
See you tonight.
Yeah, so we got like ultimate fantasy stuff here going on with like kids getting ready to fight adult villains. That's gonna be the only thing that like,
Oh!
that's my only concern about it is that like really they don't have. I'm hoping there's some adult on this thing besides Stripe, besides Pat, because like otherwise they're just gonna win by accident everything. You know what I mean? Because they're not skilled, they're not trained, and they're going up against highly trained villains that have been around for a long, long time.
It's not like one of those things where they get the Green Lantern and all of a sudden they get all the powers and all the knowledge.
Yeah. Well, no, which is fine. I mean, it's fine for a movie, right? Like a movie like that, like they get away with it, and so then by the sequel, like they've honed their skills. Like you can show that in a movie, but in an ongoing TV show, those flaws are going to end up showing up because they're kids.
But she's got drive. She's a boxer. She's trying to like let out aggression that way. So maybe becoming Wildcat is gonna help take what drives her nuts and everything, and just kind of bring it into
No, I get that.
learning how to become.
I get that, but still, yeah, they're still teenage kids fighting grown, seasoned villains.
Looks like Serpentor.
This I command. What's up, Alan? How you doing? Alan says, hi, Enosh and Tiftastic. It's from Alan M.
Across the pond.
Across the pond. How are things across the pond?
I think he's another one of those ones that's like 2 o'clock in the morning and they like to
Yeah,
come over and support the channel.
I know. That's so cool. That's so cool. We got. We also have We got a couple people from England
Mhm.
who watch on a regular basis.
The other one was on the live stream that you just did.
Yep, we got some lurkers tonight. They haven't said anything yet, but they're there.
We have Isaac from an hour away.
Isaac from across the state. Isaac, did you get my message?
Alan responded to.
Alan says I'm doing okay, but feeling blah lately. Hope you're okay, buddies. We are, man. We're doing good. Things are finally starting to open up around here and get back to normal a little bit. All right, we're back. We'll talk.
Hey. What's up? Hi, Mom. Go upstairs. I'll call for you when dinner's ready.
Dang,
Wow.
that was bad acting.
Actually, about dinner, I got invited to a friend's house, and I was hoping that maybe I could go.
You're grounded, Yolanda?
For how long?
Until I say so.
Alan says, hey, Bobby's too.
Mm-hmm.
She was the most outgoing until it happened.
Yep.
That's fine.
Don't you get it? I don't want to be your friend.
Liar.
I blew up Henry's car.
What?
It wasn't on purpose, but
You accidentally blew up a car.
Yeah.
yes. So.
With my magical
So
staff.
what?
So the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Kabari, I
I
agree.
know what he did to
This
you.
show is good. As much as Jeff Johns has kind of messed some other stuff up for DC, this has been
I
really
think
good.
you're really freaking brave coming back here day after day. I mean, I don't know if I'd be strong enough.
I never should have sent him those.
He never should have shared them.
I knew he could be a jerk. He was so nice. After a few months, I thought it was getting serious. But I guess not for him. I don't think he ever saw me as anything more than the next girl. My parents were destroyed. They won't even come near the school anymore. They don't bring me to church. My whole life has changed. They act like I don't even exist.
Dang.
I don't want to hate anyone, but I do. I hate Henry King.
You want to see how I blew up his car?
I got another sim for you.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
That seemed really good.
Don't tell me there's something else wrong with the car.
No, it's fine.
You going somewhere?
I'm leaving for good, and I just wanted to Thank you. You've been so kind. And
Where are you headed?
listen, don't trust this town, okay?
Why?
Because William didn't have a heart attack. He was healthy. He had just been to the doctor. I don't care what they say. He couldn't have. He. God, forget it. I said too much.
Well, hey, hold on.
That's all I left of my son.
Oh.
He still wanted to be like his dad.
Like his dad. His dad was a councilman, wasn't he?
I gotta go. Sorry, Pat. I have to go.
Wait, wait.
And the car blows up.
The frozen magician.
At Domino's.
Okay,
It's good. I put nacho cheese on it because it's nacho cheese.
it's not your cheese. It's not my cheese either. Yeah, no, I've been trying to tell people about this show. I mean, because it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I don't understand why people aren't giving it a chance. Because I mean, actually, I like its lightheartedness. I like its innocence so far. It's not overly. It's not political.
But it's also delving into some semi hard hitting things, and the spacing of each episode has been pretty good too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited kind of learning about her and how she's gonna become Wildcat, and then I'm gonna be just as excited next week for Our Man.
I know, Kavari, but I will say this though: Jeff Johns is not the Kevin Feige of DC, because Kevin Feige. Look, I love Jeff Johns. I think Jeff Johns, his heart's in the right place. I think he wants DC to succeed. I think Jeff Johns has done a lot of good for DC, but he is not the Kevin Feige of DC. He is not leading DC like Kevin Feige has led Marvel. Marvel has been led so much more coherently than DC, and even since Jeff Johns has been there, and I highly doubt that Jeff Johns is going to be that connected going forward. To be quite honest with you, especially now that AT&T is involved, I highly doubt it. Just because Jeff Johns has not showed himself to be successful in what he's done since like in his direction for things. I mean, he's been a part of some things, yes, but you can't really like give it to him that that was his direction. Kevin Feige has the Marvel universe mapped out, right? I mean, he has since the very beginning that brought us all the way to Endgame, and then from Endgame on now, they've remapped it out. So, I think it's a little bit of a different take. I get what you're saying. I mean, sure, when somebody is, in charge, it may seem like, it's easy to say that they're the ones in charge, but Kevin Feige Kevin Feige is not just somebody like just a guy in charge. He is very much hands-on in determining where Marvel is going to go every step of the way. And every choice is strategically made. And so, I feel that it's a little bit different. That makes sense.
Did you see what he said? What caused the feud between Snyder and Johns?
I don't know offhand what you may be talking about. I'd love to hear your take though.
Jeff says that everyone looks so enthusiastic. It's just been a long day. It's been 90 degrees. It's
I know.
been one of those days. Wow, is he looking old?
Yeah, it's been a long, long day for sure.
And we got possible thunderstorms tonight.
Yeah.
It's back on.
And we're back.
This is what blew up Henry's car.
Yeah, this is also what blew out our retinas. Turn it off.
Sorry. Hey, come here. Take 5. Make me put you back in your crate.
Nice.
Will. Stay.
What is this thing?
It's called the Cosmic Staff. It belonged to my dad.
I thought your dad was that garage guy.
Pat's just my stepdad. My real dad was Starman.
Who?
Starman from the Justice Society of America. My dad was a superhero. I'm a superhero. I got a costume and everything.
Oh god.
Let me just show you. Stay. I got a costume for you too.
I don't know about this.
Do you have it on yet?
Yes, but I look ridiculous.
There's not a mirror in there. You don't know that. I showed you my costume.
Okay, yeah, but you look good.
Don't be shy, please. Come on. No one's home. It's just us.
It smells like gym class.
It's authentic.
So, I have to wear this sad-ass cat suit while you're, what, Miss America?
Stargirl. Don't worry about the fit. I can tailor it like I did mine. Here, put on the cowl.
Oh my god, it smells worse than the suit.
Come on. It's one size fits all, apparently. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of tight though.
You look badass.
So, what could Wildcat do?
Good question.
You're checking Wikipedia?
Nice.
Construction manual. Okay, here. Powers and abilities. Apparently, he could cut through metal using his claws.
I can get used to this.
Oh my gosh!
They're longer than Black Panthers.
It says Wildcat had the agility of a cat. It says he always landed on his feet.
Nice.
I can get used to this.
You want me to jump off of a building?
I don't want you to. Wikipedia said Wildcat could jump off buildings.
Yeah, well, anyone can go on Wikipedia and say anything.
It said your claws could cut through metal like butter, and it was right about that.
Okay, murdering a toaster isn't exactly risking my life.
You're right. This is crazy. Yeah.
Wait!
No. This was a dumb idea, okay?
For months, I've been afraid to listen to myself, to be me. I'm not gonna do it anymore.
Don't.
No Pop-Tarts for you!
Dad? Okay, so
Yeah.
Magnificent.
Well, let's see here. That was awesome, Jeff. Kavari says, people online keep saying Snyder and Johns have a feud because Snyder and Johns had a difference in tone of the DC movies. Rumors as it that Johns wanted Justice League to be more, I'm going to guess, colorful and bright like Marvel. Well, we saw where that got us. So if what we saw is Jeff Johns' version of what Justice League should be in the movies, then we really need a second opinion. To be quite honest with you, you know, because that the movie, it's not horrible, but it's not great either. And you know, come next year, we'll have an answer as to what is better. I mean, I already like, you know, coming out today. I mean, we kind of already knew it's because we've been talking about it, and we just know what Joss Whedon did and what Snyder did. But just hearing the fact that, you know, the skies aren't going to be red anymore, you know, that the color is going to be different and all that stuff. I mean, I think that's going to make those subtle changes are just going to make the movie better in and of itself. But you know, I don't know. DC is just a darker property. If it, you know, the thing is even if you work on DC, you know, comics, you can still have your own point of views that are, you know, that can be off. I mean, look at right now, Bendis, who's gotten rid of the Clark Kent character and caused so much stir about that. He's working on you know, Superman, and yet he came from Marvel, and he's trying to make it to be something else. And you got to let DC remain DC, you know, and DC is what it is. So, you know, time will tell. Time will definitely tell. The longer that we have, and the more we get to see what the future holds, what Snyder had, we'll know.
I killed your dad.
Yeah, they call themselves the Injustice Society of America.
Who came up with these things?
That's what I've been saying.
Okay, listen. As much as I kind of want to help, I better get back. If my parents check my room and I'm not in it, they're gonna...
No phone? Ground you for who knows how long? What else can they do?
What? Henry.
Sorry.
Henry.
It's late. Where's he going?
To see his dad, I'm sure.
Henry's dad is one of them.
What?
He's called Brainwave. He's a supervillain.
Actually, that makes sense.
I don't know. I'm trying to find out,
What
but
about the hospital? I mean, wouldn't the villains be visiting Brainwave at the hospital? Or is that the opposite of what they would do?
yes. Yes. Oh, you're such a natural at this. Okay. Brainwave's in intensive care. All we need to do is sneak in and slow the visitors off. And by we, I mean you. I'll create a distraction.
Okay, what kind of distraction?
It'll be great. And we'll be in constant communication. There are two-way radios in the masks.
How am I supposed to get in one of this?
You climb! 7th floor. I believe it.
She's cute.
Remember, Brainwave's room is on the 7th floor. What floor are you on?
What? 0. Just give me a second, okay?
Are you
okay? Just shh, be quiet. I need to concentrate. Shh.
That's cute.
Are you in position?
If by position you mean hanging off the side of the building, then yeah.
Nice.
You mean the cosmic staff, Jeff? That was Starman's. That's his weapon and his what caused him to be able to fly and gives him his power.
Hi, Barry. How are you?
Hey, Beth. Not bad. Same old, same old. How are you?
Me too. Except for my mom's dinner. Usually I make her penne pasta, but tonight I made rotini. She better hold on to her hat. Have a good night.
You too.
I think she looks on a corner. Same family reflexes.
Hey, everything okay?
Yeah, can we just get this over with?
Hold on.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna give you the cover of darkness. Hey! Stop it!
Stop what?
Not you. I'm just trying to shut off the power.
What?
Can't shut
Are
off.
you crazy? There are people on life support. I'm looking at one of them right now. How long have you been doing this?
I
Days.
don't know. Like a week?
A week? And how long did your dad train you?
Technically, he did it.
Then why am I listening to you? Who are you talking to?
Pretty good version. I would be so mad.
Yes, the visitor's log. Got it.
Beth, you don't have to bring me dinner every night.
Well, Dad's out on the road, and I thought it'd be nice.
It is, but you should spend time with friends instead of worrying about me or your father.
But you and Dad are my best friends.
No more.
So who's she gonna end up being?
Speaking.
Robert,
Yeah?
you can't just throw supplies in the closet like that.
What are you talking about?
It looked like a tornado went through there.
Strike's room. Where are you? Someone's coming. Kill it. Take it down.
Is that her mother? Trying to use that to bring him back?
Probably. Hear what she said? See what she said? Look. Okay, that's really bad miming.
Did that wake you up? I'm a lot of ideas.
Come back tomorrow.
They say music stimulates your mind, so that's why I thought maybe she was doing some kind of evil music.
That was Principal Bowen. So does that mean she's a villain too? With the violin? Is there
Come on, Yolanda.
Yep. There you go.
Yolanda?
There you go.
I want to be your friend.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see who she's. I think she's gonna be our girl. I bet you they don't do our man. I bet you they do our girl.
I think she's gonna be our lady. Or owl lady.
Well, that was our man.
Oh. Then yeah.
So Kabari says Jeff Johns is set to produce the high-budget HBO Max Green Lantern series. Do you think the Snyder Cut will intertwine with Johns' Green Lantern series? Both are set for 2021 release. So the Green Lantern series is supposed to take place within the DC universe. So a lot is going to depend upon how well Justice League, the Snyder Cut, is received. Because if it's received well, they'll most assuredly go forward with that storyline and with those, with that background for it. So if it's going to be a part, if the Green Lantern thing is going to be a part of the DCEU, it's going to either have to be revamped to fit, or it's going to have to fit. They're going to have to be in communication. And you know, the thing is that Green Lantern's still in the planning stages. So my guess is given that it's in the planning stages, it will be written in a way, I almost guarantee it's going to be written in a way that it could go either way at first. And then once we have a definitive, yes, this works or this doesn't work kind of scenario, then it will take shape. Master Daily, yeah, we did a whole video about it this afternoon. We did a whole live stream, almost 2 hours, about Hartley Sawyer being fired, and Kabari
has become my favorite. That's why it's a bummer for me.
So yeah, so the thing is yeah, they say that he did write some interesting tweets, and I don't approve of them at all.
When he was young.
But they all took place between 6 to 8 years ago, and he apologized and he came forward and said that given the time frame and that time frame that he had people come into his life that really changed his outlook on life and how he approached his life, and that he said those things trying to be funny before because that was his sense of humor. My whole thing this afternoon was I don't know whether it was right or wrong for them to fire him, to be quite honest with you. I like his character, obviously, but if somebody does wrong, they do wrong. But I think it's really a fine line between firing somebody for stuff that they did 6 to 8 years ago, when people can change, and especially within 6 to 8 years ago, almost a decade ago. And you got people running around having done things, years ago that they're trying to cancel left and right, and get fired from stuff. But yet you got the big names like Jimmy Fallon, who just got called out for doing blackface, over 20 years ago. And that lasted like a day or so because Jimmy Fallon's a big player and he makes a lot of money for NBC, and so who's going to be more important? Who do you think is going to get more of a shakeout in that? Is it going to be the guy who's bringing in millions of dollars for NBC? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see the Roots, that are his band, complaining the fact that he did blackface. I didn't see Chris Rock complaining that he did blackface. But I saw a lot of people freaking out about it. But he did it on Saturday Night Live. It was written by Saturday Night Live people, which is the most leftist people that you could possibly imagine who would complain about that kind of stuff. Yet nobody complained about it.
Because they wrote it.
And so he gets to continue. But the low-level guy who plays the elongated man on The Flash gets fired for something he did 8 years ago. I don't know. What about Robert Downey Jr.? Robert Downey Jr. is the darling of the MCU, yet he did blackface in the movie Tropic Thunder, which apparently the people of Twitter just discovered, last week. And
like you said, the pandemic.
yeah, everybody's going off on him, but that lasted a day and that was done.
Because he was the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
I'm just saying, it's totally inconsistent. And, some people getting fired from shows and whatnot, for stuff that they did years ago, and others are being allowed to continue. I just don't think that it's not consistent.
Not even Principal Bowen. Why wouldn't she sign in?
No, I don't think that the air cut will undermine James Gunn's Suicide Squad at all.
To investigate.
At all. Because the Suicide Squad's always been a revolving door.
I don't think I'm your Wildcat. What? Why not? I mean, don't get me wrong. Today was awesome, and I appreciate that you chose me.
Yeah, you were great. The way you...
When those photos got around, I was ashamed to be Yolanda Montez. I didn't want to be me. But the truth is, I need to get my own life back before I put on a costume and be someone else. Can't take all this on right now. I don't need to be Wildcat. I need to be me again. I'll see you tomorrow. Sure.
Well, something's gonna change.
Mom says you're indefinitely. What?
Hey everyone.
Were you outside? I thought you were supposed to be in your room.
Where were you, Yolanda?
Why do you always have to yell at her? Quiet.
Wait, please. I need you to really hear me. All of you. I made a mistake. I trusted someone I shouldn't have. I did something I shouldn't have. And what I did brought shame to our family. I know that. And I'm sorry. But that was months ago. I feel like I've learned my lesson. And I've been punished enough. And I'm not going to apologize anymore. You're my family. I love you all so much. So I'm asking for your forgiveness. Help me move forward with my life so that I can be the Yolanda Montez I used to be. in the month as you used to be. You disgraced this family. You disgraced yourself.
Seriously?
Go to your room.
But Dad,
Now.
Grandma and brother on her side.
Wow.
That's cool.
Just happened to drop off the Wildcat costume in it, you know.
At least your family are jerks. Just scratching.
Yeah, Jeremy, my thoughts exactly.
Aww. It's a star and a cat.
When our daughter
Okay. It is a good episode, Jeremy, for sure. But no, I don't think the Ayer cut. Why do I keep calling it the Ayer cut? I don't think the Ayer cut is going to undermine James Gunn's Suicide Squad at all. James Gunn has already said that he has his approval for it, that he wants it to come out, and here's why. The Suicide Squad has always had a revolving door of characters. It's always been its own thing, and it always changes. James Gunn has kept the major players that were in the first one. So a lot of the major players, actually, the biggest players, really, from that movie, it's not going to undermine it at all. I don't think. I think we're going to find that nothing that is done is going to undercut anything that's been done going forward in the DCEU. None of the movies that came after Justice League, whether it be Shazam, whether it be Aquaman, whether it be I even believe 1984, because 1980 or Wonder Woman 84 is set to take place before any of this all takes place, so that's not going to affect any of that. None of those movies are affected by anything that happened in Justice League. So Zack Snyder's Justice League just being a better movie and being Zack Snyder's vision is not going to change that for any of these other properties. You're just going to finally see what was supposed to be, you know. Jeff says even Shirley Temple was in movies wearing blackface, and here's the thing: I don't think that blackface is right. I don't think that it's acceptable, but I also think there's a different time, right? And there's a and I'm not saying that it's all right. I'm not saying that it was ever okay. You know, Tiffany brought up like the Honeymooners, like, you know, people love those classic shows. Yet, I mean, you know,
one of these days, Alice, that's spousal abuse.
That's spousal abuse, right? You know, like,
Boom,
you know,
right
threatening that he was gonna, punch her and, you know, land her on the moon. I just, we'll be back in just a second.
Truck of your dreams in your driveway.
Hey Zeke, how you doing?
Are you back again, huh?
Yeah, I was looking for some construction equipment. Today I wanted to get a stretch of Caterpillar track.
What are you building, dude? Tractor?
Oh, I was working
Tank?
on...
Let me guess. You're picking parts off my lot to build a time machine or something.
No, I'm actually working on a vintage riding mower, that's all.
Living the good life, huh, Diggin?
Yeah, nothing too exciting.
Back down on the left past the crushed caddies, you might find what you need.
Back on the left by the Cadillacs. Good to see you, Zeke.
Yeah, you too. You break it, you buy it.
That's funny.
opinion, it's a really good episode. So far, they've all been really good episodes.
Sorry, we're on franchise. Hat and everything.
Stay with us. The CW Happy Hour is coming up next.
I'm putting together this new team. Oh my god. Why'd you choose her to be the new Captain Midnight? Dr. Midnight.
I want to hit something all of the time.
This is beyond exciting.
Stargirl, new hit series, next Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on the CW.
Called it. Captain Midnight. Dr. Midnight. It's cute.
Yeah. I just.
Dan Murphy said, so the magician's whole family is dead now?
Sure does look that way, doesn't it?
So he also says, I want to know more about Shade and his betrayal.
Yeah. Me too. Wow. Now that was an interesting ending. I knew something was going to happen to her though. As soon as she tried to reach out and tell him to, you know, that like don't trust the city,
town.
whatever. I knew something was going to happen. All
Maybe
right.
the town didn't want her to leave.
All right, we're going to pull the camera up, and we're going to talk about this episode, and we're going to talk about some other things going forward. We're going to answer some questions. Good stuff.
You scooch it this way because I'm comfy and I got a dog under me.
I can't really place this here there.
It's frustrating at this time of year. I'm like warm and chilly at the same time.
I know it's kind of got a warm kind of tinge to it in the air, huh?
It's an in-betweener.
Yeah, well, it's because it's been 93 degrees
Well,
outside
and
today.
it's like super stinking windy right now because it's supposed to storm tonight.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to go down. It's supposed to drop.
That's why I sprayed outside today.
Well, good job. All right. Okay, so this episode, another great episode. The show is really good. My only concern, like I said at the beginning of the episode, is if we got a bunch of little teenage kids with one adult fighting seasoned adult villains at the end.
Ninja Turtles. Teenagers with one adult to train them.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just
There's
the
other stories.
it's just a little different. It's just a little different, and I'm just thinking like if these villains literally like killed everybody and took everybody out, like
It looks like that these kids are going to be using their smarts and their brain and their brawn that they're given with the costumes. Because it looks like with Wildcat, yes, she knows how to punch. You know, she's a boxer. She's taking out her aggression from apparently her family and the school stuff. But the suit, it like gives her the agility of the cat. She can't always land on her feet, so it's like her suit is helping her. So how is our man, like or our woman stuff, going to help her? It shows that those, So I think that it's going to be taking their strengths and building that up with what they become, kind of thing, on top of it. I think.
No, I could see.
Because
I mean,
it's like
obviously
even
that's what it is.
Stargirl, she's a gymnast, so doing the acrobatics of Stargirl come natural to her because that's what she does.
I'm just saying. I hope it's not one of these things that they kind of bumble their way through and accidentally fall into a victory. Because so far, I mean, Stargirl, she hasn't had any real training. Somebody brought that up a couple weeks ago. Stargirl really hasn't had any real training, so
Except for Pat.
Yeah, I mean, so
in
she.
her first fight, she puts Brainwave into a coma.
That's what I'm saying. So like, she kind of like stumbled her way through to a victory against Brainwave, one of the main dudes.
She was trying to save Pat because Brainwave was trying to kill Pat, and it was like both the staff and her just like freaking out.
I'm just trying to remain real about everything because I like the show.
Real in a make-believe world.
Right. I like the show and I like what I've seen so far, and I'm honestly I'm liking the tone of it. I think it's perfect for what it is. But like I said, for a movie, for like a kid, like, you know, kind of teenage centric movie, it would be fine. It would work. As an ongoing series, I don't know if you can sustain.
Smallville?
No, this is not Smallville, because Smallville, even though Clark was supposed to be 15 when he started getting his powers and everything, first of all, it was villain of the week, and mostly he was fighting other teenage kids who got kryptonite infected. Every once in a while, he'd fight a villain that was like actually an adult, but it was mostly like kryptonite infected teenagers who got on the wall of weird, you know, we did weird stuff, but also he was Superman. You know what I mean? He had those powers, and he was, you know, discovering those powers week to week. No, I'm just saying that I just don't know if you can sustain that level if week to week they're stumbling through, kind of finding their way. That's all I'm saying. It'll be interesting to see how long they can maintain that level against villains like Icicle and others, you know, that are
Apparently they're all
joining.
still in the shadows. I want to know why the principal was there playing violin for Brainwave.
Obviously, that's supposed to stimulate his brainwaves and bring him back.
Why is she doing that? Is she a villain? That's like, I love that part of it.
I'm sure
because
she
of
is.
their innocence.
Yeah.
Because she's like, what are they doing? Why did she have a violin? What's that even about? Like, it's kind of cute to kind of see.
Yeah.
Like, how long have you been training? A week.
Mm-hmm.
How did your dad teach you? Technically, he didn't. So it's.
I
like,
want to know
like
who her
that
dad
kind of
really
stuff.
is.
Yeah.
I want to know because there's no way I believe that her dad's Starman. I think that ship has sailed. Every week they're trying to hammer home that she thinks her dad.
She wants it so badly that's where it's going to come out. And it's going to almost like you don't want to like set yourself up to fail kind of thing. But
Yeah.
if you want something so badly that you just focus on that you're going to be disappointed when you find out the truth.
Exactly. I wonder if they'll use it as a season finale.
Maybe her team will help gather, rally around her.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they'll use it as a season finale thing for this year, or if they'll wait till next year to bring it out. You know, that'll be interesting to see. What did you like about this episode, Tiff?
Like 95% of it.
What was the 5%?
Her parents are jerks.
Yeah, I
understand.
I didn't think that was acted very well.
I
either.
understand because of her culture that maybe they've got to be, a little more strong and heavy-handed. But it's like, are you kidding me? In 2020 now, you're still going to portray that?
I think the problem with it is that it wasn't acted very well.
I mean, you saw the face like the grandma. She's taken ownership of what she did. She's sorry. It's been a while, and the parents are like, no, you brought shame on our family, and pretty much are you grounded indefinitely because you can't get over it?
Well, I think
Therefore, I'm going to become Wildcat, and I'm going to leave my room. So that's on you.
Well, yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. I got to be honest with you. Okay, I got to be. Let's play devil's advocate here. As a parent, your child does something, and I know we're a little different in the fact that we try to bring some levity to our parenting. To our parenting, and we try to think in ways, but I think a lot of parents are reactionary in how they parent their children, and if their child sent nude photos that then got broadcast.
I'm not condoning what she did, but I know that when it comes to her culture that it's not just her, it's her entire family. And I mean, she was
Yeah.
going for school president, so it's like one of those kind of things. And she regressed, and of course, probably depression by not only handling it from school, depressed from the guy that it happened from, the girl that is now stepping up and trying to bully her, her parents, and the only two people that seem to be on her side are her brother and her grandma, but they're not really saying anything because of the family dynamic.
Yeah.
So now her only friend has become Stargirl, and I think that that's kind of cool to kind of see that they're helping each other out.
I just think that for the parents, it's probably hard to be able to put that into a. I think for some parents, it's really hard for them to decide. Okay, how long is this going to last? You know what I mean? Like, did my child actually learn a lesson? If she's coming home and trying to tell me, as a parent, that it's time to just get over it and whatever, well, that doesn't fly either, right?
No,
that's a kid show.
I still think
Pipe
it's their
dream.
culture. Because
No, but I'm saying this whole idea of her coming home and telling her parents that she needs to just they need to let it go. But I will say this though, the girl humbled herself, asked for forgiveness, said, "Look, I made a mistake." I think where she went wrong is with the whole thing, like, okay, stop trying to make me pay for what I did, because the reality is we do things we're always going to pay for what we did.
How many times did we get grounded as kids going, man, if I just would have done that, I wouldn't be grounded right now.
Yeah, so
But that's what teaches you.
I mean, and I've done,
makes you
and
think
I did simple things. I mean, I snuck out and went to the movies one time, and I got grounded for a month, and I couldn't walk out my front door for a month. So, so I
this
get it.
quarantine was nothing to you.
Yeah, I get it. Look, there are different things, there are different ways to see it for sure. I think that it was poorly acted, and I think that that's what hurt that scene. Is the mom and the dad didn't do a really good job of conveying
I've
a
seen better
realism.
acting from the grandma because you saw her at the kitchen
Yes.
table. And
She didn't say anything.
and
She was probably the better actor.
she
Her and the
didn't say
her and the
anything,
son.
But yet the compassion she showed, and then kind of like looking like when the mom gave her an attitude, go to they're just gonna continually just send her to her room because they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, that's
And then in
stupid
the
too.
same room, it's like even the brother's like, "Would you quit yelling at her?" And then when they did say what they said, he threw the popcorn on the table and then left.
Yeah.
He was getting fed up.
I think
then
that
the
the son
grandma,
and the
too.
grandma showed more acting chops in
With
that than the
barely saying anything than the parents who said something.
for sure. We didn't get a lot of the rest of the family, rest of Stargirl's family in this. We got a little bit of the brother,
The
who,
jerky brother who likes Pop-Tarts apparently.
who is starting to get on my nerves with his attitude.
He's obsessed with Pop-Tarts and he needs to be punched in the throat.
Well, something needs to happen where he needs to stop being such a, because there's being the jerky little brother, and then there's being like somebody that like you just can't stand seeing week to week, and you don't want to be that. I mean, there's difference between
You don't want to be typecast as the jerk.
well, that and plus like people that can hurt the show.
Yeah.
Like if he's portrayed too much of a jerk, then every time people see him, people are going to tune out and they're just going to be like, oh well, I'm just ticked off, So there's a couple different ways to look at that. Didn't get a lot of the mom this week. Didn't even really get a lot of Pat this week, to be quite honest with you.
No, always.
A little bit at the beginning.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it wasn't like he was training with her this week. It was more he was working on the cars. He was getting to know what's his name's, wife. She
Mhm.
said, "Don't trust this town," and then all of a sudden, at the end of the episode, she's gone.
We did though, however, like what Pat was in.
Did she die or did she get out of that? And that's the wreck on what happened to her car because what the town wouldn't let her leave.
That's a good question. Now, I will say this: what we did get of Pat was pretty powerful,
Mhm.
and was part of probably the real best, real grounded, real parts of the episode. Because the rest
Real
was like,
realness.
yeah, the rest was kid stuff. Was like, oh look, I got
We're trying to put our
superpowers.
team together.
Yeah, we're trying to put our team together. It's this fun, kind of romper thing.
Well, technically too, she's doing it behind his back because he says that we can't do it on our own. Well, he doesn't know that she's recruiting. She knows that she grabbed.
Yeah.
Does he even know she grabbed the stuff?
I don't.
Because I thought
think
she
so.
went on her own to do it.
I don't think
I
so.
want to know what that pink pen does.
Yeah.
And she's just like, this does nothing. So she puts it in the little cup holder, but then it goes and zooms in on the cup holder. So
Yeah. So but then like the whole hospital scene was kind of bumbled. Like they kind
Yeah.
of bumbled their way through. It's
That
almost
show-
like a Scooby Doo episode, right? Where like the heroes kind of bumble their way through. Somehow they survive and somehow they beat the bad guys. But in the reality, is they didn't really do it because they knew what they were doing. They did it by
I think it's also
despite themselves.
foreshadowing though too, because you saw that Wildcat, you know, with her being so angry with what her boyfriend did at the time, and I think it's gonna come out that he didn't necessarily do that. That jerky girl took the picture, and she's the one that sent it to everybody. Because you notice when she looked right at him, he just like, oh no, like it wasn't him, but she's gonna think it's him.
Yep.
And every time they bump into each other at school, he's just like he feels bad, and so out of her anger, she wants to just take him out with when she has that costume on in the room, and the only thing that stops him or stops her is him saying, "Dad, I miss you," out of because he's so sad with what's going on. But I think it's going to be foreshadowing because she didn't take that chance to take him out, and he's going to become the bad guy and pick up the dad's mantle. And
Hey, Sky, I do want to answer your question. You said, is Stargirl actually good, or is it like Supergirl? So, I will say this, Star. Supergirl, Star, what did I say?
You said Star, it's Sky.
Oh, sorry, Sky. I'm so sorry, Sky. Sky, where Supergirl has become very heavy-handed, and like super serious and takes itself way, way, way serious now. Stargirl does not. Stargirl is nice and light, and yet it has its moments where, like, when it needs to be serious, it's serious, right? And
there's a couple times it'll
the
be serious
tone.
and it hits you in the chest, and then the next thing you know, they're making a joke. So it's like it's a nice mixture.
But
nice balance.
I did not think that I was going to enjoy Stargirl as much. Stargirl is a lesser known character. She's a lower tier character.
We thought, hey, this would be something fun to watch while Flash is off and during summer. And
but Stargirl has turned into a really good episode. I'll be honest with you.
Excited for Tuesdays again.
So this was episode 4.
Oh, maybe
was
4.
Was it 4?
3 or 4,
yeah, it's 4. 4, I think. And so being episode 4.
And this is only a half season
episode 4
because it's the first.
So
run,
being
right?
episode 4, the first episode we gave a what did we give episode
10
1?
out of 10.
We gave it a 10 out of 10. Second episode, I think we gave it like a 9.5. Third episode, I think you gave it a 9.5. I gave it a 9.
Isaac gave it a 9.5.
And now we still have to rate this episode. But I'm going to tell you right now, spoiler alert, it's going to be a good rating because it's just been a really good show, and I've really enjoyed it. And where a lot of these DC shows right now are taking themselves really, really serious, even The Flash is kind of like taking
Gavin says, "Why will not load? Please load."
Oh man, I'm sorry, bud. Sorry, Gavin.
Talking about Hot Pockets. Oh no, that was Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. So right, emblems and capes. Yeah, Stargirl is great. Not a lot of woke stuff so far. No, it's not that at all. It's just this young girl, and she's not trying to be preachy about anything. She's not trying to be anything. It's not trying to lay some heavy hand on something. Like even like the Flash, because the Flash started off as kind of light and nice, and like the Flash even has started to get a little bit like little heavy-handed with some stuff.
Slightly cringy.
But Stargirl has been a nice breath of fresh air.
I like it because it's like she had this one, night with Wildcat, getting to see how her powers worked and stuff like that, and kind of giving her a taste of being a superhero. And then she thinks, no, I gotta become my own person. That doesn't work. And she goes to her room super upset, trying to figure out what she's gonna do next. And I love how Stargirl just kind of like puts the the costume there, like.
There it is.
I can't do this by myself.
There it is. Take that costume.
So she puts it back on, like, okay.
Right, there's that costume.
It was just kind of cool. I like that. I like that, like you said, it's not preachy, she's not pushy, but yet just enough to, be like, come on, let's start our own, let's take these kind of people down.
Yep. Emblems and Cape says, hey, I just picked up the original Jeff Johns run of Stars and Stripes, and it's really good. You can definitely see how the comic character was a love letter to his late sister, and that's cool. That part's cool. That part's cool. We were talking about Jeff Johns earlier, and even though he's made some mistakes on the movie side of DC, he's obviously brought a lot to DC. I mean, in the form of creating Stargirl and just some different things, you know, and what he's brought to comics in general. You can't take that away from Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns has done a good job there.
I think it's cool that DC has been doing a good job with bringing, I don't want to say irrelevant, but like, you know, you got like Superman, Batman, you like the ones that everyone knows, but yet DC can like, they can bring in like a TV show like Stargirl. I didn't know a lot about her. I'm loving this. I love getting to know more about it. It makes me want to read some of the, you know, the stuff. Same thing when it came to like, oh, I'm thinking Marvel, but I mean, I just think it's a good, you know, way that TV shows, movies, everything like that they can bring in new characters, and you just, you know, you fall in love with them if you, like, I'm not an avid comic book reader per se. I know about them, I can, you know, look them up, but I feel that I'm getting to know her world a lot more just in these first 4 episodes.
Yeah, me too. I want to go back to, this is kind of jumping track for a second, but Kavari said, did you see the reports that Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins was offered a Justice League 3 after Snyder's Justice League 1 and 2? My question is, would she be a good pick for Justice League? So, I would say Patty Jenkins has a good head on her shoulders. She's done a really good job with Wonder Woman, right? I mean, she's definitely learned that character, knows that character, and done a really good job with that character. I'd be interested to see what she would do with a Justice League movie, but I don't think she wants to do it. Last I heard was that she was not interested really in doing Justice League. So, of course, people say a lot of things, but I don't know if that would be something that she would end up doing or not. And I don't know quite if she'd be a good fit for it, even though she's a good fit for Wonder Woman. Excuse me, I don't know if Justice League is an ensemble movie, and you got to be able to write well for many characters and bring many characters into it. I mean, she did a pretty good job with the team in the first Wonder Woman movie. I obviously want to see the second Wonder Woman movie and see what she does with that and see how that works. But I mean, she's definitely a great director. She's proven that, and so I'd definitely be interested to see what she does with it.
Emblems and Cape said I think she would. Wonder Woman was definitely the main character, but the secondary characters really formed a team, and I'd like to see her do an ensemble cast movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to give her a shot for sure, because I think that of all the people obviously that have been doing these movies, she's one of the ones who did one well, right out the gate, and Warner Brothers trusted her to do it right out the gate. Warner Brothers didn't even trust Snyder to do his vision after a couple of movies. They messed with him, on the second movie here, and with Batman v Superman even. So we had to wait to get the Ultimate Edition, and so. Kavari asks, did you guys check out the Watchmen series? It's really good. I haven't because we don't have HBO, and I don't plan on getting HBO Max until the Snyder Cut comes out. And here's why. Because there's just nothing right now on HBO that I feel like spending that much money a month for. I don't need all those movies because I have all those movies. I would love to watch X-Men. Or not X-Men, I'm sorry. Watchmen. I'd love to watch that show. This last winter, I was out in Seattle, and I almost I watched like just a couple of minutes of the first episode, but couldn't finish the first episode. I was at somebody's house, and I couldn't watch it all. And so I definitely want to see it, but like there's not a lot on HBO that I'm super excited about. When I get HBO Max, it's primarily, I mean, unless I find something else on there that I like, which I could very well.
That one. That's
that,
me and Isaac.
Yeah, that's you and Isaac. I mean, they are moving Doom Patrol over there, so, I did like Doom Patrol. But again, Doom Patrol was not like a money, make or break kind of thing for me. I can hold off. It's not like I have to see it right now. Kind of thing. If Titans had gone over there, that'd have been a different story, because I really like Titans. And we were like every week with Titans, man. We had to watch it when it came out. With Doom Patrol, actually, we waited quite a while, sometimes like a few weeks between episodes. There for a minute, you know. So it just depends. But you know, like I said, it's one more streaming service that I don't want to have to pay for until I have to pay for it. To be quite honest with you. Emblems and Cape says his run on the Flash was legendary. I mean, the dude wrote Flashpoint. It's a very good point. Om Shri, what's up? No Jeff and Greg Berlanti, the two snakes who destroyed the DCEU slate. So I will wait for JSA to appear in Black Adam, and if Black Adam is successful, we would get a JSA solo spin-off movie. Well, I don't know. I don't know that we're, you know, I think you got to do it one thing at a time. And I'll be honest with you. You guys know I'm very level-headed. You guys know that I don't run off on any tangents. I just tell it the way it is. This show is a good show. Whether or not, you know, Jeff Johns has done a good job in the past with the DCEU movies. I think he made some big mistakes with Justice League. I think he's made some big mistakes when it comes to Snyder. But I'm not going to write the man off either. I don't believe in just writing people off just because they make some bad mistakes. And we did a whole video about that today, right? About Hartley Sawyer, and you know, in his role on The Flash as Elongated Man, you know, as Dibney. So in real life, you know, I mean, with these movies, Jeff Johns made some big mistakes, and you know, but I think too, Jeff Johns hasn't run a movie. It's not a movie company, but it's, you know, like a franchise like that of movies before. He's a comic book guy, right? So just because you're a comic book guy, you may be able to develop stories, you may be able to tell stories, you may be able to write good stories, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be either a good movie guy or television guy, you know, to direct those types of things. There's some people who can cross over and do well. But I just got to say that, I mean, for what this is, I've really enjoyed Stargirl, and I didn't think I was going to. So you could take that for what it is, but that's somebody telling you, I didn't have real, I was just watching it to watch it, to be honest with you, at first. And now I'm really looking forward to Stargirl every week. And I really think that it's a good show. And I would tell anybody that. And I would tell anybody, DC fan or no, you need to try it out. You need to check it out, because it is that good. It's very enjoyable, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
That's what I was trying to do, is, like I said, I realized afterwards that they're Marvel, but it's like you felt the same way about Guardians of the Galaxy, not knowing much about them and liking it afterwards. I felt the same way about Doctor Strange. I knew nothing about that character and then ended up liking afterwards, just because, you know, if it's engaging and it brings you in, then you want to know more about that character, and you invest your time into it.
Gavari says, don't forget Last of Us series coming to HBO Max. Don't know really that much about that. After 4 years, I am back watching WWE. So excited. Armstrong says, hey. Emblems and Capes says, Greg Berlanti has nothing to do with the DCEU. He controls the Arrowverse, the DC Universe, shows, and HBO Max's Green Lantern. The only thing about that, Emblems, and we just talked about it a few minutes ago, the word on the street has been that the Green Lantern property will connect to the DCEU. So there is that. You know, we still have yet to see it and see how it will connect, but it has been more than said that it will definitely connect. So in that regard, we'll get something. More talk about The Last of Us. Crush it! What's up, yo? Gavin says, I think my tablet is broken because it will not load you guys. Oh man, sorry to hear that. So I will type it. Sorry, Gavin. Omstree says it was not just Justice League. He made reshoots to Suicide Squad and wanted to remove the No Man's Land scene from Wonder Woman and also reshoot the whole third act of Wonder Woman. Yeah, so it kind of feels like if he had his way, there's things that are good that could have been worse, and there's things that weren't so good that could have been even worse than they turned out to be. So,
Worser?
yeah, like I said, you're not, just because you're a good comic book guy doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be good at everything. And I don't know. I understand. Look, and I was on board at first too. I understand where they were coming from, thinking, hey, we'll put Jeff Johns, he's the comic book guy. He knows DC. He knows these characters. We'll put him in charge of the DCEU. Problems. The problem is that he has not proven yet that he can fully lead a TV or movie franchise moving forward and do it well and do it justice, no pun intended. Crush it. Yes, I got the comics today. Yep, and I opened them up and I'm sorting through them, and I'll be figuring out how I'm going to introduce them to the channel, and in turn introduce your stuff to the channel as well. So Tiff, what would you give this week's episode of Stargirl?
I would give it a 9.5 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 9 just because I like where it's going still. I still like the story. I still like the pacing. I love the pacing, actually. And I love all the characters so far. It got a little cringy in a couple parts this week, just because of it's young teenage girls trying to learn their way and fight their way through stuff, and it got a little weird. And like I said, I just have the concerns about young teenage girls kind of taking every role in the Justice Society. I think it needs to kind of equal out a little bit, because you can't just have a bunch of young teenage girls running around like kicking everybody's butt. Not that girls can't kick butt. That's not what I'm saying. Just that it's got to have some balance, because if you got grown adults who are fighting these battles and dying, which it showed that
the movie Kick Butt
showed that the Justice Society was dying, and a lot of them did die, then I think that you gotta temper that a little bit, and not just show that it's going to be so easy for them to just fumble their way through Scooby-Doo style every week and just beat the bad guys, But other than that, I really like where it's going. I like the feel of it. I like the tone of it, and I think that it's one of those shows that everybody should watch. I don't think that everybody realizes yet that they should be watching the show. That's the only problem that I have. Omstree says the Green Lantern will be in the DCEU, but it will not connect to the Snyderverse, because after everything happened, Zack Snyder will never connect it to his movies. Well, here's the thing. That has all yet to be seen, to be quite honest with you. Like I said, I don't know if you missed what I said here just a couple minutes ago, but you got to remember, Green Lantern hasn't been shot yet, right? So they're still putting together what Green Lantern's going to be. They're still putting together and finalizing what the Snyder Cut is going to be. I think that if the Snyder Cut does well, first Green Lantern will come out, it'll be its own thing, it'll do whatever. But if the Snyder Cut does well, it will most assuredly connect with Green Lantern, with the TV show. And those things will meet up, because you can't have the DCEU without Green Lantern. It's just not going to happen. Green Lantern will be a part of the DCEU going forward, and if that means that Jeff Johns' DCEU version of Green Lantern as a TV show has to change to fit more of Snyder's vision, so be it. There's talk even of J.J. Abrams possibly coming in and helming some stuff to do with DC. So, all that's up in the air. So I would say never. I mean, we're getting the Snyder Cut, for goodness sake. And more than likely we're going to get the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. So I wouldn't put so much money on those things and say, well, no, we'll never get this, and Snyder won't do that, and you know, this person won't do this or that. Because if you have those characters and you're going to say that they exist in the same world, they most assuredly at some point will connect. They will come together. Emblem says, I know, I just meant Greg wasn't the reason the DCEU crashed and burned. Well, you're right about that with Justice League. That was all WB and Jeff Johns. You're absolutely right. Greg Berlanti works for WB Television, a different branch of the company. Yes, that's true. It'll be interesting to see how things go going forward, how those relationships work together. Corey says Jeff Johns did write by Aquaman. He's credited as a writer and producer. So I don't know how I feel about that, because I'm not sure that I want to I could be totally wrong with this, but I'm not sure that I want to give all that credit to Jeff Johns. James Wan is why that movie was successful. James Wan has proven time and time again with his horror stuff and other stuff that James Wan is a brilliant director. And for the most part, they left James Wan alone. And they let him do his job. Like they did with Patty Jenkins. And that's why you got 2 movies that did not have the issues.
So technically no Wan could do it better?
Nope. Wan did it about as good as you can do it. So I know Zack Snyder has different Green Lanterns in the Snyderverse, but that's, like I said, things change. Things change. And if they're going to move together in one coherent thing going forward, there will be compromises. There always are. Not one person will hold up the entire thing. There will be compromises. There will be changes made one side to the other, and I'm sure that both sides will compromise a little bit, and we'll end up getting something else. In the end, it's all going to be, you know, Green Lantern. Just waiting for the Flash movie. Yeah, us too. We'd love to see the Flash movie. All right, Gavin, we'll see you, buddy. Kavari says, do you think we should give JJ a shot at Superman? I personally think we should. No, I'll be honest with you, not right off the bat. I don't think so. If he got it, I wouldn't be angry about it. I'm not going to protest it, and I'm not going to, you know, be super upset. But I really want to see Zack Snyder finish that out. I want to see Zack Snyder finish that out. But, and here's why. I've seen what JJ has done with the Superman script before. If you've read his Superman script, Superman Flyby, it was not good. It was not good at all. Everybody knows that it wasn't good. You can find it online. You can read it. It's not good. You have Lex Luthor as a Kryptonian alien. You have other Kryptonians coming and Superman kind of phoning it in. Not good. And so that concerns me. That really concerns me right there. Emblem says, we don't know if it's different. For all we know, Sam Benjamin will be cast in the HBO Max Green Lantern show, and then there's your crossover with the Snyder Cut. You just never know. That's what I'm saying. You just never know. We're gonna have to wait, because really, until we start seeing this stuff manifest and like actually having it on the channel, we're not gonna know. What's up, Lime Show? It says, and I can't believe that they fired Elongated Man from the Flash show. Like, I know he did some messed up stuff back then, but he seems better now. Did a whole video on that this afternoon. I've said it then and I'll say it now, and really this is all I really got to say about it, and that is consistency. That's it. That's what it comes down to, is consistency. You can't have Hartley getting fired as Elongated Man for doing something 6 to 8 years ago, and yet you have other people in Hollywood, like Jimmy Fallon, like especially Jimmy Kimmel, who has done every bad thing he could possibly do. I mean, he's done blackface, he's been insulting, he's done misogynistic things on The Man Show. He literally hosted a show where they had women in scantily clad outfits, either bikinis or lingerie or just scantily clad outfits, jumping up and down on trampolines every week, and called it, girls jumping on trampolines, and they were named the Juggies. So how does that guy still have a job? I don't know. But yet you're gonna get mad at the guy who plays Dibney. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's inconsistent. Like Tiffany said, it's consistently inconsistent. It just doesn't make any sense. So, I think the show's going to hurt for it, though. And I think it's stupid that now there's all these people who want to go after Danielle Panabaker because she used to date a guy who was a racist. Like, so now you're going to go after people who dated idiots? Like, so now everybody that you dated...
We're all in trouble if that's what they're doing.
I mean, are you serious? You're gonna like do some guilty by association crap and say that if you ever dated somebody who was an idiot or a racist or whatever, that's your fault and that should be a reflection on you? Come on. We got to stop that crap. We got to put an end to that stuff. We got to put the kibosh on that stuff. Or we just cancel everybody and say, look, we all admit everybody's made a mistake. Everybody's said stupid stuff. Everybody's got skeletons in their closet. Okay, it's all out there. It's all done. Let's move forward. And now what you do moving forward is what you're judged by. But enough of this going back 6, 8, 10, 14, 20, 30, 40 years in some cases, and literally trying to crucify people and ruin their careers over stuff that's been that long in the past. I'm done with that.
It's funny seeing your light screen because I've had dark screen for so long that that's too bright for me.
All right. Emblem says, I personally think we need a reboot. The continuity is a mess. Let Snyder finish out his vision on HBO Max with Justice League 2 and then start a new universe with Matt Reeves, the Batman. I want Matt Reeves, the Batman, to be an adjacent universe at this point. I want to see more Henry Cavill Superman, so I don't want it to reboot. I don't want it to restart. If you have to do something different, then use like the Flashpoint kind of reference thing for it. But I'll be honest with you, I don't want it to reboot at this point. I want to see more from this universe because you got Aquaman, which we need an Aquaman sequel. Mm-hmm. Aquaman was great. If they don't make an Aquaman sequel, I'm going to be ticked because they need to get on that.
How do you feel about them not keeping Mira out in Amber Heard?
I mean, they haven't made an official announcement on it. I don't know. If they get rid of her, I get it. I understand. But you have to figure something out because Mira, I think you just recast her. Look, if the Dark Knight series could go from what's her name? Tom Cruise's ex-wife to Maggie Gyllenhaal, you can do it. You can find some other girl and do her hair up red. I mean, we'll be okay. It's not like you're recasting Aquaman.
That's what, yeah.
You're recasting Mira, who can be a pretty girl with red hair. To be quite honest with you, it's not going to be that bad.
Amber Heard doesn't even have red hair, so.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So imagine Vin Diesel in the DCEW. I'm guessing EU is what you meant. I try not to. So I really don't want to see Vin Diesel in the DCEU. Oh, man. No, please no. Just not a big fan. Lime Show says, made me happy to hear your explanation, man. I gotta go, but I'll for sure be coming back later. Awesome. We're gonna get going here in just a second. Kavari says, do you think AT&T could take full control of DC? I could see it. I could see AT&T definitely doing it because there's money to be made, and if Warner Brothers is going to get in their own way, which they seem to do a lot of with WB or with DC, I could see them circumventing them. They've already done it. They've already circumvented them, and we got the Snyder Cut coming. So I could definitely see it. I don't think they're going to recast Ezra. If they were going to do it, they would have already done it. that's another one of those inconsistent things, right? We've seen this whole thing play out, and now we got nothing on it. We hear nothing about it. They're going to wait for it to pass, and then they're going to move forward with it. If they were going to do it, I think they would have done it already. We would already know.
Tristan said it.
Tristan says, I want to see Matthew McConaughey as Reverse Flash in the Flash film.
All right.
I want to see that race between him and the Flash, and then passing by and go, all right. That's funny. I think we should finish out the current DCEU: Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Zack Snyder Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman 84, Suicide Squad 2, Zack Snyder Justice League 2, and Man of Tomorrow. I think we got to finish. I think we finish out those movies at least. But if they're going to introduce Green Lantern, that's going to be something different.
I agree with Montgomery.
What's that?
It says DC needs to be its own film studios / DC Studios.
Maybe the problem is that DC doesn't seem to have enough. You know, it's weird because they could literally Warner Brothers has all of DC under one roof. It's not like Marvel Studios where Marvel doesn't have all the DC characters. Yet Warner Brothers doesn't know what to do with all the DC characters. They've not done well by them at all. And so because of that, you know, I don't know. It has not played out well. They have not seemed to know what to do with
And
all.
Cape says it does. DC Films. It's a sub-studio of WB.
Yeah, I mean that's why we have the little, you know, intro stuff, but it's not its own studio though. Like Warner or Marvel is Marvel Studios. Like it's an actual studio. Like Lucasfilm is its own thing, you know, within Disney, but it's its own company. DC is not. DC is just it's got its own little subsidy under Warner Brothers. It's not its own film entity, so it doesn't have a leader like Kevin Feige, who actually oversees and is planning out these things. There's too many hands in the pot when it comes to it, and that's why these movies are being made by what's the word that I'm looking for? They're being made by committee. They're being made by committee instead of being made by directors and writers and being approved. They're being made by committee where everybody's kind of throwing ideas in and you know stuff in and changing stuff as they go, and that's where the problems, you know, arise. So well, hey guys, I've talked a lot today.
He said too many hands in the pot. All I could think of is, so you're saying too many cooks?
Too many cooks, too many cooks, too many cooks. All right, I think we can end on a too many cooks joke. I like that, unless there's something else.
Well, 3 other people posted it. Shree said Ezra Miller was already in the CW crossover and said, I told Victor this is possible.
Yep.
So that confirms Ezra is not out and also confirms that Cyborg is in the Flash movie. Kavari says, but WB keeps interfering in DC productions. Shree says, I know who wanted to be in the Kevin Feige is one and only Jeff Johns.
Well, he wanted it, but he's not getting it.
And Tristan said Universal Pictures / DC.
So are you saying you want Universal Pictures to buy DC? Because Universal Pictures doesn't fall under Warner Brothers, so DC doesn't fall under Universal Pictures. That's
Then we can go to Warner
its own
Brothers
thing.
and we can go to Roller
Universal is its own thing separately. So they're two different companies, owned by 2 different companies. So, but I think you know I want to see more Cyborg, and it sounds like we're going to get more Cyborg from the way it sounds. And I think that Ray Fisher deserves to be in more movies. The guy has been committed to this, and Zack Snyder said that he's the heart of Justice League, that we have not even begun to see what has been left on the cutting room floor. So, guys, I think we got a lot more to see, and a lot more that we'll be able to talk about and debate. And I can already see that we're going to have a nice year of good honest debates about DC and what's to come, and what will succeed, what won't succeed, and how this thing will all end up in the end. But in the meantime, we've got Zack Snyder's Justice League to look forward to for sure. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. I hope that you enjoyed watching Stargirl with us, and that you'll come back and join us. We've got lots of cool new videos coming out. Tonight, there will be a new video going up of our trailer reaction to Bill and Ted 3, Bill and Ted Face the Music. Just going to say, if you haven't seen that trailer
Be
yet,
excellent to each other.
you need to see that trailer. All right, guys. Until next time, my name's Enosh, a.k.a. Enosh Fett, along with the lovely
Tiff-tastic.
saying be excellent to each other, treat each other with respect, and party on, dude. All right. I got to go spend some time with my princess. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Say goodnight, Tiff.
Good night, Tiff.